Having finally got the repairs carried out to the wind vane, it was quite a mission with the weekend and everything else, and walking around all the different shops trying to find someone that could do it. Eventually found a guy. Took him all weekend and 2 days to put 3 helicoils into the wind vane, but eventually he did it. And then we had to go around and get all the clearances and the port captain stuff and all that kind of thing. Managed to do all that, walked halfway around Noumea, and then this morning we're off out of the marina. It's a beautiful morning, flat calm in the marina anyway. There's a little bit of wind outside, and I must say I'm very happy to be going. Not really a big fan of Noumea. I'm sure New Caledonia is beautiful, but I didn't like Noumea very much at all. We motored out to the marina, and after about 20 minutes we picked up the breeze. I got all the sails up, and the breeze built nicely to about 15 knots, 12-15 knots, and we scooted down the channel towards the Pass de Dumbie, making lovely speed in the flat calm waters inside the reef, and sailed through the reef entrance out into the ocean, where we started to feel a bit of the swell, but still sailing beautifully, and a really good start to our passage towards Australia. First night out of Noumea, and a beautiful sunset this evening. I was watching for the green flash, but it didn't appear. Wind's nice and steady, around about 15 knots, so we're scooting along. I just put a reef in the main for the evening, and it's all looking good, and we're nicely en route for Australia. The third day out from Noumea, and it's sunrise. And sunrise is just the reverse of the sunset last night. Sunset last night, the wind died away. No wind at all overnight. I left the full main up last night, and we just floated around. I went to bed and I had a really good sleep. Waking up 5 o'clock this morning, and things are just still the same. So it's been a really slow trip so far. I'm enjoying it. It's nice. Coral Sea is nice, and hopefully we're going to get a little bit more wind today and carry us a bit further towards Australia. Dolphins at dawn. I was sitting in the cockpit just having a cup of tea, watching the sunrise, and then these guys came along, and I heard them first blowing, and they're playing around underneath the bow. It's flat calm, and I just switched the motor on to run it for an hour or so and see if we can motor and find some wind. And they're playing around underneath the bow. They're nice chubby little fellas, so obviously getting enough food. These are the first dolphins I've seen since leaving New Zealand, which is quite surprising. Normally see them every day or so. But maybe that's a symptom of overfishing. But nice to have them around, and they seem happy enough. Yet another lovely Coral Sea sunrise. We sailed well overnight, and then the wind started dropping very early this morning, around about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And it's been decreasing since. We're now down to about 3.5, 4 knots. I've still got a reef in the main, so I'll take that out and see if we can get a little bit more speed. But the weather's certainly up and down at the moment. We don't seem to have any consistent winds at all. Lots of calm patches, and then it picks up and gives us hope, and then it dies away again. But we have to be patient. Bloody gannets! Oh boy, did we have an issue with gannets. We were becalmed once again, evening time, pitch dark, and I went into the cabin, lay down, got my head down, and then I heard a thump on deck, and I wonder what it was. It almost like we'd hit a tree trunk or something. I went on deck, and then I found a gannet sitting on the side deck, and I think he must have made the thumping noise when he landed, or crash landed. Anyway, I kicked him off. I went back down below and got my head down again. And after a few minutes, I heard some noise in the cockpit, so I came out. And there were 2 gannets sitting in the cockpit. So I booted them off, went back down again. And then I heard more noise, and I came up, and I just couldn't believe it. There was gannets everywhere. Anywhere on the boat you could put a gannet, there was a gannet. They were sitting on the spinnaker pole, on the radar, on the bimini, everywhere, all on the deck, and of course they were shitting everywhere as well. So I tried to get them off, but soon realised that they were flying back on as fast as I was booting them off, and they're making a hell of a mess. So I decided to motor away, and I motored away, and I'm kicking and booting these gannets off left and right as we're going along, and eventually after about 10 minutes I got all the birds off the boat, and I just kept on motoring. I just didn't want them to come back. It's kind of really weird feeling having all these birds on the boat in the dark. You know, you popped your head above the dodger and there's a gannet staring straight at you, and they don't want to move. They're quite stroppy birds. So I just kept on motoring until daybreak, and it was still flat calm, unfortunately, but we kept them off the boat all night, and now we've got just a little bit of breeze, so I'm sailing along and the gannets are flying around doing their own thing, fishing and enjoying themselves. But I just don't want them to come back, so I'm very, very vigilant tonight. Well, we're going to get some wind. Days without any wind, and now we've got this beautiful big storm cloud, rain cloud. Got lots of energy in it. It's going to be bringing some wind. I think once we get on the other side of that, we might have a steady wind, because it extends quite a way across the horizon there. It's a big cloud going up to the north, and I think once we get on the other side of this, we might be good for a run down to Gladstone. Well, let's hope so. But I'm welcoming the rain, because there's a lot of salt on the boat. We've had quite a bit of spray over the boat, sunny weather, and it's not had an opportunity to get washed off, and the rain is just what we need. Fantastic. The cloud had plenty of wind and rain, so gusting up to 30-35 knots for a time, and just reduced all the sail and got through it okay. And now we're on the other side, and things are starting to steady down. Boat's had a beautiful wash, everything's nice and fresh, and I'm hoping this wind is going to take us all the way down to Gladstone.